WrestleMania is the biggest professional wrestling event of the year, bar none. They get over 70,000 people every year, sometimes up to 80, 90,000 people to the event from all over the world. The WWE started WrestleMania in 1985 as a dream of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who didn't know if this would be a success or kill his company, the World Wrestling Federation. When the first WrestleMania was a huge hit on March 31st, 1985 from Madison Square Garden in New York City, Vince McMahon knew he had a hit idea on his mind, and now 33 years later, WrestleMania is the biggest, like I said, biggest wrestling event anywhere in the world. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and we're here with another episode of the Pro Wrestling Unlimited Countdown. And this week we asked you guys to tell us your favorite main event from WrestleMania. Now, let me clarify this. Over the past 5 or 6 years, there's usually like 3 matches that they call the WrestleMania main event. But what we were asking was not the best match of WrestleManias or the biggest match that was hyped up, but the match, the real main event. The real main event of a show is the match that goes on last. So like I said, we asked you guys this week for your favorite WrestleMania main event, the match that closed out WrestleMania. So let's see how you guys voted this week. Number 10 goes all the way back to WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 3 for a very, very long time, for almost 30 years, was the most attended, highest attended WrestleMania with over 93,000 people there in the Pontiac Silverdome. And what makes this match so historic, so history-driven, is the spot where we saw Hulk Hogan, the mighty Hulk Hogan, slam the 7'4", 500 pounds Andre the Giant to the mat, hit his infamous leg drop, and pin Andre the Giant 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Pinning Andre was something that was rarely, if ever, seen by fans of professional wrestling, and when Hogan did it at WrestleMania 3, that lived up as one of the most iconic moments in not just WrestleMania history, not just WWE history, but history in general for professional wrestling. Now, number 9. Every year when you go into WrestleMania, you think, okay, the winner of the Royal Rumble is supposed to get the main event, the World Championship match, but that doesn't always happen, and that didn't happen with number 9 this year, WrestleMania 33, The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. This year at WrestleMania, it was The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, and yes, they set this match up at the Royal Rumble, but neither man was the champion, and neither man won the Royal Rumble. This was more of a kind of like they've been doing here recently with Roman, a passing of the torch kind of thing, where Roman Reigns did go and defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, and then The Undertaker did leave his hat, gloves, and jacket in the middle of the ring before exiting the arena. With that, a lot of people now think that The Undertaker is retired, but there have been hints that The Undertaker is coming back. One reason that you guys may have voted this match as one of the best main events is because it may actually be the last time we ever see The Undertaker in the squared circle. Number 8 comes all the way back from WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 19 saw Kurt Angle defending the WWE Championship against Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar are probably the 2 best pure wrestlers, pure amateur wrestlers to ever step foot, not just in the WWE, but in all of professional wrestling. Both men were NCAA heavyweight champions. Kurt Angle won the Olympic gold medal. Brock Lesnar, some say, could have went to the Olympics and won the Olympic gold medal if he wanted to, but that's a different story. WrestleMania 19 was a very memorable WrestleMania, not just for this match, but for other matches like Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. But what makes this match so iconic, so memorable, is seeing the big 200+ pound Brock Lesnar climb to the top rope, look out to the crowd, look at his opponent Kurt Angle as he lays in the middle of the ring, and then leaps off the turnbuckle doing a shooting star press to the prone Kurt Angle below. Now, Brock didn't fully land the shooting star press. He actually landed slightly on his neck, missing Kurt Angle, but in the end, Brock did walk out the new WWE Champion. Number 7 is the only match on this list that comes from the 90s, and that was WrestleMania 12, the 60-minute Iron Man match for the WWE Championship, well, at the time, WWF Championship, between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. The 60-man Iron Man match actually went to a draw at the end, and sudden death did see Shawn Michaels walk out the new WWF Champion. And one thing that makes this match so iconic, yes, the match was great itself, but it's after the match. Shawn Michaels, the new WWF Champion, in the middle of the ring, clutching the WWF Championship, crying as you hear Vince McMahon at the end say, "The boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels." This is widely regarded as the greatest Iron Man match of all time in professional wrestling. And whenever Bret and Shawn got in there together in the middle of the ring, you knew that that was going to be a great match. Number 6 comes from WrestleMania 28, and it was the first time we had seen The Rock versus John Cena. Now, Rock and John Cena went at it twice in the main event of WrestleMania, at WrestleMania 28, and then again at WrestleMania 29 with the WWE Championship on the line. But you guys voted the first match between Rock and Cena as one of your favorites from WrestleMania as far as main events go. Rock and Cena the first time was something that we had never seen before. It was the two biggest stars, probably two of the top 5 biggest stars in all of WWE history, and we just didn't know what to expect. It was the young John Cena calling out The Rock for leaving the WWE and going to Hollywood. Ironic, isn't it? Anyways, leaving the WWE and going to Hollywood, only coming back when it's convenient for him, and John Cena being the guy that's there every week, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears. And in the end, we did see The Rock actually defeat John Cena at WrestleMania 28. And one iconic moment from after the match, as you see here, there is an image of John Cena just sitting on the entrance ramp, just thinking to himself probably something along the lines of, "Wow, The Rock is that great. What do I have to do to defeat this guy?" And 1 year later he did, with the WWE Championship on the line at WrestleMania 29. Now, number 5 comes from WrestleMania 31, and some people may say, well, that wasn't a good match. WrestleMania 31, Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns. Now, I'm pretty sure, because this is the match I voted for, and here's why. Not for the match itself as far as Lesnar versus Reigns, but because of what happened during the match. Because Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank at the time, came out and cashed in his Money in the Bank, and two things happened here that we had never seen before. First off, no one had ever cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, and second, no one had actually ever cashed in Money in the Bank in the middle of a match. When Seth Rollins came out and cashed in his Money in the Bank, they actually turned the match from a singles match into a triple threat match, and we did see Seth Rollins successfully cash in that Money in the Bank and walk out of WrestleMania 31 the WWE Champion. Now, I was there at WrestleMania, and some people do say that the Lesnar-Reigns portion of the match was horrible, but the crowd was actually into it. But when Seth Rollins came out, when Seth Rollins' music hit for him to come cash in that Money in the Bank, I tell you guys, that place was ecstatic. Everybody was on their feet from that point on till the end of the show, and it was just a moment that you never forget. As WrestleMania goes off the air, you see Seth Rollins at the top of the ramp. He's got that WWE Championship. He's so excited. He's swinging the championship around his head before just raising it in the air as the new WWE Champion. Number 4 is one of 2 triple threats on this list, and this one comes from WrestleMania 20, as it saw Triple H defending the World's Heavyweight Championship against that year's Royal Rumble winner Chris Benoit and HBK Shawn Michaels. This is a classic match if I've ever seen one. This is what you would call a great triple threat match, a historic triple threat match. I mean, all 3 guys were beaten and bruised. Triple H had the crimson red mask, blood all over his face. Shawn Michaels as well, just his face covered in blood. These 3 men gave everything they had for that crowd in Madison Square Garden, for that crowd, that audience at WrestleMania 20, and in the end, Chris Benoit, the man that nobody thought would win a world title in the WWE, made Triple H tap out to the crossface and became the World's Heavyweight Champion. One iconic moment after this match did see the WWE Champion at the time, Eddie Guerrero, come down to the ring and hug his best friend Chris Benoit, as the two celebrated as the confetti fell and WrestleMania went off the air. Number 3 is from only a few years ago. It was another triple threat main event for WrestleMania, as it saw Randy Orton defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against both Batista and Daniel Bryan. Batista had won the Royal Rumble earlier this year, so he was given the opportunity to take on Randy Orton for the championship at WrestleMania. Leading up to WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan was on just a tear, trying to get the opportunity that he felt he deserved. He said that he wanted a championship match at WrestleMania, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon kept telling him no. So finally, they made a match where if Daniel Bryan can defeat Triple H, Daniel Bryan would be added to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later that night. In the opening match of WrestleMania 30, we did see Daniel Bryan go out there and defeat Triple H. Later on in the night, in the main event, we saw Daniel Bryan. He was defeated almost. We thought he wasn't going to win, as both Randy Orton and Batista kept on double teaming Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan was that little engine that could. He was that guy that wasn't going to stop, that was going to keep coming back, that was going to fight and fight no matter what, and in the end, he did make Batista tap out and became the new WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. Just to see Daniel Bryan standing on the announce table after the match, holding up both the WWE Championship and the World's Heavyweight Championship, is such an iconic moment. Seeing Daniel Bryan after the match go over to his little buddy Connor and give him a hug saying, "I did this for you," is something that we will never forget. Number 2 comes from my personal favorite WrestleMania, WrestleMania 17. And the main event did see The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this was a huge turning point in the WWE's history. Not only was it huge because just before that, WWE had purchased WCW and they were going to go forward with an invasion angle after this WrestleMania, but it also saw longtime rivals Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon align. We saw Vince McMahon come out. We didn't know what he was going to do when he came out during this match, and he eventually gave Stone Cold Steve Austin a steel chair. Stone Cold Steve Austin beat down The Rock with that steel chair in this no disqualification match and did become the WWF champion. We then see after the match Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon sharing beers in the middle of the ring, as everybody was just wondering, what have I just seen? What the hell was that? Why did Vince McMahon help his longtime rival Stone Cold Steve Austin? Why did Stone Cold Steve Austin align himself with the man that he had hated for so many years? And really, it was just a spot, it was a turning point in the WWE that really Stone Cold Steve Austin himself has kind of regretted, because he felt like that was the last time his character was at its peak. The last time the Stone Cold Steve Austin character was really the biggest thing in the professional wrestling world, and he has said multiple times that him going heel kind of ruined the Stone Cold Steve Austin character. The number 1 match comes from WrestleMania 26, where we saw The Undertaker take on Shawn Michaels. Just 1 year earlier, we had the first WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 25 between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. The match they had 1 year previously at WrestleMania 25 and this match are regarded as 2 of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. I bet you if the WrestleMania 25 match was a main event, it would have claimed the number 1 or number 2 spot on this countdown, as I think both matches are deserving as the greatest 2 WrestleMania matches of all time. But then again, this is a WrestleMania main event countdown, so only one match could have made this list, and the right match, the number 1 WrestleMania main event, is number 1 here. As we saw, it was The Undertaker's undefeated streak versus Shawn Michaels' career. Could Shawn Michaels end that undefeated streak that nobody was able to do before him, or was The Undertaker going to go out there and end the historic career of Shawn Michaels, HBK, the Heartbreak Kid? And in the end, like I said, after one of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time, we then saw The Undertaker defeat the icon Shawn Michaels, the legend, the future Hall of Famer, the current Hall of Famer now, and it was the last match of Shawn Michaels' career. Shawn Michaels has always been asked, come back for one more match, come back for one more match. And he's said this before. He said, you know what? I ended my career on a high note. Yes, I lost, but on a high note in an amazing match, in one of the greatest matches. And there's nothing left for Shawn to prove after he had both of those amazing matches with The Undertaker at both WrestleMania 25 and WrestleMania 26. And so the number one match on this list, the number one WrestleMania main event that you guys voted for, was the WrestleMania 26 main event between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. So now I ask you guys in the comments below, what do you guys think of this top 10 list? The matches that you voted for as the best, the top 10 WrestleMania main events of all time. I mean, a lot of these matches were from more modern era, WrestleMania 17 and beyond. We did have Hogan versus Andre and HBK versus Bret Hart. Some iconic matches, some great matches, some matches that, yeah, some may say that shouldn't be on this list. And that's why I'm asking, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on all 10 matches that made it into this top 10 list that you guys voted for here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And remember, keep it locked on Pro Wrestling Unlimited this Monday, as we will be unveiling the voting for next week's episode of the Pro Wrestling Unlimited Countdown. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow PWUnlimited.net for the latest in pro wrestling news.